Hello, my sweet little honeys. Welcome back to my channel. We are discussing slate. This beautiful word that is so small, but there's a lot of stuff you have to do for it. I don't know why I actually never talked about slates before on my channel. It's something that never occurred to me until I recently had to do an audition. And in the audition, the slate was like a meter long of specific things that I had to do. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, wait, I'm like, slating is like such an awkward thing to do. And it's just so weird, especially when you have to like tell them 100 things and you know, what can you have in the slate? What can you not? Full body, not full body, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, we got to talk about this because slating happens in every single audition and it's important. And even if they don't say specifically slate, blah, 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 you always still have to slate in the audition. So I was like, let's get down to it. Also, I did cut my hair. This is the new look we're going with. Super short, cute bob. I love it. I'm obsessed. My new headshots, I'm doing them in about a week. So we're gonna have new headshots with short hair. Let's start off with saying, what is slating? And I'm actually gonna read you the legit term of it on the internet. Slating is the industry term for introducing yourself in an audition, whether it's in person, virtual, or self-taped. The exact information you provide in the slate will depend on what the casting team asks for, but often includes your name, height, and location. It's literally you just introducing yourself in the video. It could either be in the beginning of the audition or at the end of the audition. You will always, usually if it's an in-person or virtual, it will always be in the beginning of the audition. And the casting director or whoever's the camera operator / reader will just be like, can you please slate? And when you slate, you always look directly down the barrel of the camera. You're not looking off to the side the way you would be doing a self-tape. You're looking directly in the camera. Slating can be done in various ways, and it depends on exactly what you're auditioning for. I guess the first thing I should say, a slate is always going to be a full body, your head down to your toes. You want to try to make it down to your toes. It is really difficult. I personally never have a slate that hits all the way down to my toes, because if I do that, then the rest of my apartment is shown, and you don't really want them to like see your like all your stuff. You want to try to keep it as minimal of things as possible. Obviously that isn't possible. Like I don't have a space big enough that from the wall to wall ratio that the camera can stand far enough where I just have a full blank wall. So they will obviously see a little bit of my printer, maybe a little bit of like where my kitchen starts, and that's okay. But I usually kind of get it down to at least where my mid shins are, or sometimes just right below my knees, so they can kind of sense how far and how big my body is. The other thing is, if you're doing like commercials, a lot of the times they're gonna ask you to do profiles, which is you doing your side profiles like this. And you would always want to hold roughly 3 seconds. So it's 1, 2, 3, then you switch to the other side, 1, 2, 3. It's one edit. You're not like cut, do the side, now stop the camera, start it again, do the other side. It's just one all consecutive edit. They might also ask you to do your hands. And if you do, it'd be something like this, where you put the hands in front of you and you hold it 1, 2, 3. And then you do your hands here, 1, 2, 3. Make sure that the camera is obviously focused on the hands and not focused on the face, because then it's like a fuzzy, blurry situation going on. Why do you need a slate? Slate's important because this is how you identify yourself. This is how they remember who you are, what your name is. Some casting directors prefer, it's called a tail slate. A tail slate means it goes at the end of the audition. Some casting directors prefer in the beginning of the audition. Most casting directors will tell you if they want a tail slate. Like if they want it to be at the end, they will say, please tail slate your name, height, location, blah, 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 blah. If they don't say anything and they just say, please slate, this is kind of my rule. You don't have to follow it, but I feel that when it comes to auditions like a legit character, I put the slate at the end because you want them to kind of see you as the character first. If it's for a commercial, I do the slate in the beginning, unless the casting director for the commercial agent has specifically said, make it a tail slate. Commercial auditions and commercial slates are usually the most confusing ones. Again, like I've talked about in my how to book a commercial and like how to do a commercial audition, it's not about you, it's about the product. So if you, for example, are gonna be showcasing how to like use a knife or you're cutting something, most of the shots are gonna be your hands cutting. And so they're, like I said, they're gonna wanna see a profile of your hands to see that you have clean, nice looking hands. You don't have like, I don't know, a bunch of cuts on them. Like, you know what I mean? Like they want to see that the hands are presentable for the camera. Same thing with the profile. They need to see the profile of how you're gonna look and all that kind of stuff. They might ask you a bunch of weird questions like, have you worked with any other, let's say, burger brands if you're auditioning for McDonald's? Or sometimes they ask you for your pronouns. I haven't been asked in a while, but they used to ask what your vaccination status was. Maybe like 1 in 50 auditions will still ask that. And most of the time I find that they say it's optional, so you don't have to disclose it. Same with pronouns, you don't have to disclose it, it's optional. But commercials, yeah, commercial slates are always the most kind of intense ones because they have like a lot going on and they ask for a lot in the slate. I did an audition today for a feature film. They did not tell me what they needed in my slate. They actually didn't even say anything about the slate in the audition. Does that mean you don't do a slate? Wrong. No, you still do the slate. Now, if that happens, you just do the generic, the basic, hi, my name is Anastasia, I'm 5'6", and I'm located in Toronto. I like to say Toronto, not Toronto. Toronto is the Canadian way. So if you're auditioning for things that most of the time have American producers, American networks, like some sort of American stuff is in there. Even a lot of the times Canadian TV shows still want to have that general American accent. Americans tend to say Toronto because they don't know that the T is like, you swallow it, it's silent. It's up to you if you want to do that. If you feel comfortable, you don't have to. But like I said, when there's no slate and indicated what exactly you have to say, you just do a regular hi, my name is blah, 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 your height, your name, and your location. You can also add who your agent is if you want to. I don't see that the reason for it because they see that my agent is the one who submitted, so they can see who my agent is. But that's up to you. I know some people like to add the 4 as their like basic ones. I only add the 3. When you're doing a slate, it's like I said, it's always going to be a full body unless they do specify that they want a medium close-up slate. Very rarely I've ever seen that happen. Makita's actually had a few medium close-up slates and they were for commercials. I don't know why they wanted it that way, but they wanted the actual slate of you saying what your name, height, yada, yada, medium close-up. And then they ask for a full body profile shot. So then you do a new edit where you're standing far away and you're doing your like front, side, and back profile. Same with the hands. You're not doing them far away. You're doing them exactly where I'm sitting the way it is. You're doing them up close like this. And that's kind of how the different types of slates can work. Now, honeys, I'm gonna do an edit for you where I actually am gonna do a legit slate. I'm gonna show you how far and what I have showing in my slate, how to maneuver it, how to work. But before I do that, I just wanna mention that slates, you wanna keep them conversational, like easy, you're just having a chat. It's not, hi, I'm Anastasia Piero. I'm 5'6", I'm located in Toronto, and I am blah, blah, blah. You're not doing that. It's like if you're meeting someone legitimately in person professionally. Hi, I'm Anastasia Piero. I'm 5'6", I'm located in Toronto, and I am happy to be here. Very easy, roll off the tongue. Like, don't make it super strict. Have some fun with it. Keep it also you. Keep it light, fun. Don't forget to smile. Don't forget to be all like, and you don't have to stand all like robotic. You can maybe put your hand on your hip. You can maybe like, I don't know, put your hands in front and cross, like not like this, but like down below. You want to kind of personalize it to yourself. Make yourself look friendly, open, like inviting, yet still professional. I'm gonna position the camera, and not by me, it's gonna be actually positioned by my fiance. Most of the time, I will be honest, a slate has to be done with someone helping you, unless you can position the camera on your own. That way, that's great. I find a hard time, so if I have an audition that I can do on my own, like if it's a commercial audition and I don't need a reader, then I'll do it. But when it comes to slate, I always try to get Makita to help me because it just makes it easier. As you can tell, roughly, this is the angle of my slate that will be. I'm just gonna lower the camera. It's okay if they can see the blue wall. It's okay that they can see the door. Like, you're not going to have a space that's full blank unless you live in a massive, massive property or something like that, or you're in some sort of like studio warehouse that you have that ability. What you want to watch out for is like, make sure that there's no painting back here, that there's like no table here with a bunch of stuff. You don't have like stuff on the floor, like things that you can move away for the slate, the better, because it's less distracting, it looks less cluttered, and they want all the attention to be drawn right to you during the slate. We do it right above the ankle. It's a little bit harder to do down to the toes. If you do it down to the toes, please remember to wear shoes. Not like me today where I'm wearing bunny slippers. That's the one thing. And if you are able to get your shoes and your toes in there, make sure that you're wearing shoes that make sense to the character of what you're wearing. Also, side note, please don't forget to change your pants. I sometimes, if I have to wear a suit or something like that, I'll wear my pajama pants for comfortability. But when I do the slate, I have to change my pants based on what I'm wearing on the top and what the character is. So today I changed out of my pajama pants and I put on my suit pants, and I didn't change my shoes because I did not get my shoes in the slate. But roughly, this is what my slates look like. I like to stand a little bit off to one hip, one leg to the side. Sometimes I'll put my hand in the pocket. Sometimes I'll leave them both like this. Sometimes I'll do this. I think to me, it's just what I'm feeling on the day of and what I feel that the character is. So today I'm auditioning for your typical college girl. I feel like she would do a hand in the pocket, leg to the side. Cool, casual. You're slating in the audition clothes that you have had in the audition. If you had earrings, you have earrings in the audition. If whatever you had in the audition, you're slating it the exact same way. Do not change your hair or makeup for the slate. Everything stays the same the way it was in the audition. Make sure that when you're doing the slate, you give yourself 3-second buffers before you start, and then you give yourself a 3-second buffer at the end while it's still recording. So let's give this a try. Hi there, I'm Anastasia Piaro, I'm 5'6", and I'm located in Toronto. If you're doing a commercial slate, let's say you would say, hi, my name is Anastasia, blah, blah, blah. And that would have been a profile slate. Then when you want to do your hands, you would obviously stop recording and do it again. You'd show your hands. And there you have it, honeys. This is not my typical area where I slate. I do sometimes do this when I'm at my parents' house, and it's Easter weekend, so I'm here for the weekend, so I thought I'd do the video here. Like I said, in my apartment, they actually see half my printer and like half of where my kitchen starts. I think they can see a little bit of my espresso machine. Like, those are fine. It's a little bit, it's in the area. It's not a big deal. So yeah. Anyways, I love you all, and I'm gonna see you all next Friday. Bye, honeys.